The islands where pirates once hid. A Thailand Through Eyes bedtime story. Chapter 1. The map nobody believed. Before I came to Thailand, I believed pirates belonged to storybooks, treasure maps, wooden ships, parrots on shoulders. The Caribbean. Certainly not Thailand. Certainly not the calm turquoise waters I had seen in travel magazines. When people spoke about Thailand's islands, they spoke about beaches, about sunsets, about diving, about honeymoon destinations. Nobody ever mentioned pirates. That changed on a rainy afternoon in Phuket. And what began as a casual conversation eventually led me to one of the most fascinating discoveries I had ever made. A chain of islands hidden among the Andaman Sea, places that once served as secret refuges for sea raiders, smugglers, traders, and adventurers. Places where history still lingered quietly beneath the sound of waves. My name is Oliver. I am a travel writer from England. And this story began with an old map. The rain had started shortly after lunch. Not a violent storm, just a gentle tropical rain. The kind that falls steadily from gray skies and turns the world soft and quiet. I was sitting inside a small cafe near the old quarter of Phuket town. The ceiling fan turned lazily above me. Outside, motorcycles splashed through shallow puddles. The smell of coffee mixed with the scent of wet earth drifting through the open doorway. I had spent the morning exploring colorful streets, Sino-Portuguese buildings, hidden shrines, tiny bakeries, quiet alleys filled with flowers. Everything felt peaceful, unhurried, comfortable. I opened my notebook and began writing observations from the day. A few minutes later, an elderly Thai man entered the cafe. His hair was white, his shirt was faded blue. His face carried the relaxed expression of someone who no longer rushed through life. He ordered tea. Then he sat at the table beside mine. For nearly 20 minutes, we simply shared the silence. Rain tapped softly against the windows. The fan hummed overhead. The cafe owner listened to old Thai songs playing quietly from a radio. Eventually, the man noticed my notebook. "You are writing about Phuket?" His English was careful but clear. I smiled. "I am trying to." He nodded. "Many visitors write about beaches." I laughed. "That is true." He stirred his tea. Then he asked a question. "Have you written about the pirates?" I looked up. "The pirates?" His eyes sparkled slightly. "Yes." I waited. Surely he was joking, but his expression remained serious. "There were many pirates here long ago." I blinked. "Really?" He nodded. "Very many." Outside, rain continued falling. Inside, my curiosity woke immediately. The old man introduced himself as Somchai. He had spent much of his life working on fishing boats. His father had worked at sea, his grandfather too. The ocean was woven into his family history. When he spoke about the Andaman Sea, he spoke with affection, like someone describing an old friend. He reached into a worn leather bag and carefully unfolded a piece of paper. It was not an actual historical map, just a modern tourist map, but he began pointing toward clusters of islands, small dots scattered across the sea. Here, his finger moved slowly, and here, then another, and here. I recognized some names, others I had never heard before. "Pirates use these places?" I asked. He nodded. "Not movie pirates." He laughed softly. "No treasure chest, no parrots, no walking on wooden planks." I smiled. "Then what kind?" He looked toward the rain. "The real kind." His explanation surprised me. For centuries, the waters around southern Thailand had been important trade routes. Merchant ships traveled between India, China, Arabia, Malaya, and beyond. Goods crossed the sea constantly. Spices, silk, porcelain, tin, wood, food. Where trade exists, opportunity exists. And where opportunity exists, some people try to take advantage of it. Small pirate groups learned the geography of the region. They knew hidden coves, secret beaches, freshwater sources, narrow channels between islands. They could disappear among hundreds of islands scattered across the Andaman Sea. When weather became rough, they found shelter. When authorities searched for them, they vanished. The sea itself protected them. Listening to Somchai felt like opening a forgotten chapter of history. a chapter rarely mentioned in travel brochures, yet somehow more fascinating than many famous landmarks. The rain continued throughout the afternoon. Customers came and went. The cafe grew quieter. Outside, the streets glistened beneath gray skies. Somchai continued sharing stories. Some were historical, some were legends, and some existed somewhere between truth and myth. Those were my favorites. One story described pirates hiding among limestone islands. Towering cliffs surrounded them on all sides. From outside, the entrance appeared invisible. But once inside, they found calm water protected from storms. Another story described lookouts positioned atop cliffs. From great heights, they could spot merchant vessels long before the ships approached. Signals traveled from island to island. Information moved faster than boats. The pirates always seemed one step ahead. Whether every detail was true hardly mattered. The stories carried something valuable. They revealed how people understood the sea, how communities remembered their past, how history survived through storytelling. As evening approached, the rain finally weakened. Soft golden light appeared beneath the clouds. The streets outside began drying. Motorcycles returned. Birds emerged from shelter. The world seemed to stretch after a long nap. Somchai folded his map carefully. "You should visit the islands." I smiled. "Which ones?" He chuckled. "That is the adventure." Then he stood. I thanked him for the conversation, but before leaving, he paused. "There's something foreigners often misunderstand." "What is that?" "They think Thailand's islands are only beautiful." He looked toward the sea beyond the town. "But beauty always has stories beneath it." Then he walked away. That night, I could not stop thinking about the conversation. I sat on the balcony of my guest house. The air smelled of rain. Palm leaves moved gently in the wind. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. A gecko clicked from the wall. The town glowed softly beneath scattered lights. I opened my notebook again. One sentence appeared at the top of a blank page. "The islands where pirates once hid." I stared at it, then smiled. Perhaps my next journey had already chosen itself. The following morning arrived bright and clear. Sunlight reflected from wet rooftops. The sky looked freshly washed. I walked toward the harbor before breakfast. Fishing boats rocked gently beside wooden piers. Their colorful paint glowed beneath the morning sun. Workers unloaded crates. Seagulls circled overhead. The smell of salt filled the air. Everything felt alive. The harbor had existed for generations, long before airplanes, long before highways, long before modern tourism. People had always come and gone through these waters. Merchants, fishermen, explorers, and yes, pirates. Standing there, I suddenly understood something. History does not disappear. It simply becomes hidden, like footprints erased by waves. The marks vanish, but the journey still happened. Near the pier, I met a boat captain named Arun. His face was darkened by years beneath the tropical sun. He wore sandals and a faded hat. When I mentioned pirate islands, he laughed. "Ah, somebody told you the stories." "An old fisherman." Arun nodded immediately. "Somchai?" I stared. "Yes." He laughed louder. "Everybody knows Somchai." The world suddenly felt smaller. Arun agreed to take me on a journey the next day. Not to search for treasure, not to hunt pirates, simply to visit some of the islands connected to those old stories. He warned me that many legends mixed fact with imagination. I told him that was perfectly fine. Sometimes legends reveal more than facts. He seemed pleased by that answer. That evening, I wandered through Phuket's night market. Lanterns glowed above crowded walkways. The smell of grilled seafood drifted through warm air. Families shared meals. Tourists explored food stalls. Musicians performed quietly nearby. The atmosphere felt cheerful, relaxed, safe. And yet, beneath this modern scene lay centuries of history. Sailors had once crossed dangerous seas. Traders had navigated uncertain waters. Pirates had searched for opportunity among distant islands. All of it connected somehow to the peaceful market around me. History was not separate from daily life. It flowed quietly underneath, like an unseen current beneath calm water. Later, back at the guest house, I packed a small bag, notebook, camera, water bottle, a light jacket, Nothing more. The adventure would begin at sunrise. As night settled across Phuket, I listened to distant waves. The sound drifted through open windows, slow, rhythmic, endless. The same sea that tourists admired today. The same sea that fishermen respected. The same sea that once concealed pirate hideouts among hidden islands. I wondered what stories waited beyond the horizon. What forgotten places still remembered those distant years. What truths hid beneath legends. And as the warm tropical breeze moved gently through the room, I closed my eyes. Tomorrow, the journey would begin. And somewhere among the islands of southern Thailand, history was waiting. Chapter 2. The Hidden Cove Beyond the Limestone Cliffs. At sunrise, Phuket harbor was quiet. The sky was pale blue. Fishing boats moved slowly across silver water. Captain Arun waited beside a long-tail boat, smiling as if the sea had already told him we were coming. "You still want to find pirates?" he asked. I laughed. "Only their shadows." He nodded. "Good. Shadows are easier to find." We left the pier just as the sun climbed over the sea. The engine hummed behind us. Warm wind touched my face. Phuket slowly faded into the distance. Ahead, limestone islands rose from the water like ancient sleeping giants. They did not look like beach postcards. They looked secretive. Tall cliffs, dark caves, narrow openings, places made for hiding. I finally understood why Somchai had smiled when he spoke of them. These islands were not only beautiful, they were protective. After nearly an hour, Arun pointed toward a cliff. "Look carefully." At first, I saw only rock. Then, as the boat turned, a narrow gap appeared. So small I would have missed it completely. We passed through slowly. The sea became calm. The engine softened. And suddenly, we entered a hidden cove. High limestone walls surrounded us on every side. The water inside was green and still. Birds called from trees clinging to the cliffs. Roots hung down like old ropes. It felt as if the island had swallowed us gently. Arun turned off the engine. Silence arrived. Deep, cool, complete. This kind of place, he said softly, was useful long ago. For pirates, for anyone who did not want to be seen. I looked around. From outside, the cove was almost invisible. Inside, there was space for small boats, shelter from wind, shade from the sun, a place to wait, a place to disappear. The idea felt suddenly real, not theatrical, not romantic, practical. Survival at sea was not about dramatic battles. It was about knowledge, knowing where to hide, where to drink, where to repair a boat, where to watch without being watched. We drifted beneath the cliffs. Tiny fish moved beneath the boat. The water reflected the rock walls in soft, broken patterns. Arun opened a small metal container and handed me sticky rice wrapped in banana leaf. Breakfast. I thanked him. We ate quietly. The rice was warm, slightly sweet, comforting. In that hidden cove, food tasted different, simpler, more memorable. After a while, I asked, "Do local people still believe these pirate stories?" Arun smiled. "Some believe, some laugh, some say maybe." Maybe? Thailand has many maybes. He looked at the cliffs. Sometimes stories are not kept because every detail is true. They are kept because they teach people how to look. I wrote that sentence down immediately. Stories teach people how to look. Arun told me that old sea routes were once dangerous. Ships carried valuable goods across long distances. Tin from southern Thailand, textiles, spices, ceramics, rice, wood. Many communities depended on the sea. But the sea also attracted people living outside ordinary rules. Some were criminals. Some were desperate. Some were local groups protecting their own territory. Some were simply sailors who changed roles when opportunity appeared. History is not always clean, Arun said. People were complicated. His voice was calm, not judgmental. As if the sea had taught him that human life rarely fits into simple categories. I asked him if pirates ever lived permanently on the islands. Not like villages, he said. More like temporary camps. He pointed toward a shaded area near the rocks. Maybe they stayed a few days, maybe weeks. They needed water, food, lookout points. He paused. Then gone. The word floated across the cove. Gone. And yet, not completely. Because here we were, centuries later, still speaking of them. A bird flew across the opening above us. Its wings caught the morning light. For a moment, everything felt suspended. The cliffs, the boat, the stories. My old misunderstanding. I had thought Thailand's islands were made for holidays, but this cove showed me another truth. Islands were once maps of survival. Every beach had a purpose. Every cliff had a meaning. Every hidden channel could change a person's fate. Before we left, Arun leaned back and said, "Many foreigners come here and ask only, where is the best photo?" I felt slightly embarrassed. I had asked that question many times in many countries. He smiled kindly. Nothing wrong with photos, but sometimes you must ask, who used this place before me? The water tapped softly against the boat. That question stayed with me. Who used this place before me? We started the engine again. The sound echoed against the cliffs. Slowly, we moved out through the narrow entrance. The open sea appeared suddenly bright, wide, almost overwhelming. Behind us, the hidden cove vanished. From the outside, it looked once again like ordinary rock. A secret closing its door. By midday, we reached a small island with a quiet beach. No resort, no music, only sand, trees, and a few fishing nets drying in the sun. A local fisherman sat beneath shade, repairing a net with patient hands. Arun introduced him as Uncle Prasert. His skin was weathered. His eyes were gentle. He invited us to sit. His wife brought coconut water in metal cups. Cold, sweet, perfect. When Arun mentioned my interest in pirate islands, Uncle Prasert laughed. Foreigners like pirates. I smiled. We grew up with strange pirate stories. He nodded. Here, pirates were not always strange. They were part of the sea. Then he said something I did not expect. Sometimes the sea gives, sometimes the sea takes. People also become like that. His wife gently scolded him in Thai for being too serious. Everyone laughed. The moment became warm again. I asked him what he had heard as a child. He looked toward the water. My grandfather said some islands had fire signals at night. Signals? Maybe for boats, maybe warnings, maybe stories only. He smiled. When we were children, we believed lights on far islands were ghosts or pirates. Were you afraid? Of course. He laughed, but also excited. His wife, whose name was Molly, joined the conversation. Children here learned respect for the sea through stories, she said. If parents said, "Do not go there," children might still go. But if parents said, "Pirates hid there," children listened. That made everyone laugh again. But beneath the humor was something important. Folklore was not only entertainment. It protected children. It taught caution. It gave invisible boundaries to dangerous places. A cave became more than a cave. A current became more than moving water. An island became a place to approach with respect. As the afternoon grew warm, we sat beneath the trees. Molly prepared simple food, grilled fish, rice, a small bowl of chili sauce, fresh cucumber. Everything was shared without ceremony. No one asked if I deserved it. No one calculated the kindness. They simply made space. This was another misunderstanding I had carried before coming to Thailand. I thought hospitality was mostly part of tourism. A professional smile, a service, a transaction. But here, on a quiet island with no hotel nearby, hospitality felt older than tourism. It belonged to daily life. It belonged to the way people survived together, especially near the sea. Uncle Prasert pointed toward the horizon. Long ago, boats did not have engines like today. Wind decided many things. He moved his hand slowly, mimicking a sail. If weather changed, people needed safe places. Like the cove? Yes, and many others. He looked at me. Remember, young man, islands are not lonely. They are connected by water. That sentence changed the way I saw the map. On paper, islands looked separate, small dots scattered across blue space. But to people of the sea, water was not emptiness. Water was a road, a path, a marketplace, a hiding place, a memory. In the late afternoon, clouds gathered again, not threatening, just soft and gray. The light became silver. Arun said it was time to return before the evening wind changed. I thanked Uncle Prasert and Molly. Molly packed leftover sticky rice for me. For night, she said. I tried to refuse politely. She placed it in my bag anyway. Arun laughed. You cannot win. I smiled. Perhaps I did not want to. The boat ride back was quieter. I watched the islands pass slowly. Each one now seemed different. Before, I would have seen scenery. Now I saw possibilities. A cliff might be a lookout. A beach might be a camp. A cave might be a hiding place. A narrow channel might be an escape route. History had not made the islands less beautiful. It had made them deeper. As we approached Phuket, the first lights of evening appeared along the shore. The sea darkened. The sky turned lavender. Somewhere behind us, the hidden cove rested silently among limestone walls. Invisible again. I thought about the pirates who may have once hidden there. But I thought even more about the people who remembered them. Somchai, Arun, Uncle Prasert, Molly, each carried a piece of the sea in their voice. Each had shown me that Thailand's islands were not empty paradise. They were living archives, softly protected by waves. That night, I sat by the window of my guest house. Rain began again. Gentle rain, the same rhythm as the day before. I unwrapped the sticky rice Molly had given me. It still smelled faintly of banana leaf. I ate slowly while reading my notes. One sentence stood out. Stories teach people how to look. I looked out at the dark sea beyond Phuket town. I had come searching for pirate islands, but already I was finding something more important. A way of seeing, a way of listening, a way of understanding that beauty and memory often live in the same place. And as the rain softened the night, I closed my notebook. Tomorrow, Arun said, we would travel farther, to an island where caves breathed with old legends, and where the sea, if listened to carefully, still sounded like footsteps in the dark. Chapter 3, The Cave That Remembered the Sea. The next morning arrived quietly. No rain, no wind, only a pale golden light spreading across the Andaman Sea. When I reached the harbor, Captain Arun was already there. A cup of coffee rested beside him. The sea behind him looked like polished glass. Good weather, he said. The sea is in a kind mood today. I smiled. Does the sea have moods? Arun laughed. If you spend enough years on it, you stop asking that question. We left shortly after sunrise. The long-tail boat moved smoothly across calm water. The engine produced a low, steady hum. Flying fish occasionally skipped across the surface. Small islands appeared and disappeared along the horizon. Some were little more than giant rocks covered with trees. Others stretched across the sea like sleeping dragons. The farther we traveled from Phuket, the quieter the world became. No traffic, no city sounds, only water, wind, and distance. After nearly 2 hours, Arun pointed ahead. There. At first, I saw nothing unusual. Then the island slowly revealed itself. A towering wall of limestone rose directly from the sea. Dark streaks ran down its surface where rainwater had flowed for centuries. Trees grew from impossible places along the cliffs. Roots clung to cracks in the rock. The entire island looked ancient, older than memory, older than history, older than stories themselves. As we approached, I noticed a dark opening near the waterline. A cave, large enough for boats, small enough to disappear into shadow. Arun reduced speed. The engine softened. The temperature seemed cooler as we entered the cave entrance. The sunlight behind us faded. The sound changed immediately. Every movement echoed. Water dripped from unseen places. The cave breathed with its own rhythm. Inside, the darkness felt alive. Not frightening, simply mysterious. Sunlight entered through openings above, creating pale columns of light that touched the water. The cave ceiling hung high overhead. Thousands of years of mineral formations shaped the stone into strange patterns. Some looked like curtains, others like frozen waterfalls. Others resembled giant waves trapped in rock. I sat quietly. Words seemed unnecessary. The cave demanded silence. Arun anchored the boat. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. The only sounds came from water gently touching stone. Then he pointed upward. People used to hide in places like this. I followed his finger. Small ledges appeared along the walls, natural platforms, sheltered from weather, difficult to see from outside, easy to defend. The cave suddenly looked different. Not merely beautiful, useful, strategic. Do historians know exactly who used these caves? I asked. Arun shook his head. Not always. He smiled. The sea keeps secrets. That answer somehow felt appropriate. Many things in history are uncertain, especially where written records are rare, especially where storms, salt, and time erase evidence. What remains are fragments, stories, clues, possibilities. I stepped carefully onto a rocky ledge. The air smelled of salt and damp stone. Tiny crabs moved between cracks. Far above, birds nested near openings in the ceiling. The cave felt like a world separated from ordinary time, a place where centuries overlapped. Standing there, I imagined sailors entering these waters hundreds of years ago. No GPS, no engines, only stars, currents, wind, and experience. Finding a shelter like this would have felt miraculous. My imagination wandered further. A small boat arriving after sunset, lanterns covered to hide their light, crew members speaking quietly, watching the sea from darkness, waiting, perhaps for weather, perhaps for information, perhaps for opportunity. History did not provide answers, but the cave encouraged questions, and sometimes questions are more interesting than certainty. Arun sat comfortably in the boat. This cave has many stories. Tell me one. He considered for a moment. Then he smiled. My grandfather told me a legend. I opened my notebook immediately. He laughed. Of course. According to the legend, a pirate captain once used this cave as a refuge during a powerful storm. For 3 days and 3 nights, rain lashed the sea. Waves crashed against the cliffs. Lightning filled the sky. The captain and his crew waited inside the cave. Food became scarce. Water supplies ran low. Fear spread among the men. On the 3rd night, an old fisherman appeared in a small boat. No one knew where he came from. The sea outside was too dangerous. Yet, somehow he arrived. The fisherman shared food, shared water, and helped the crew survive. When the storm ended, the pirate captain offered gold as payment. The fisherman refused. Then he disappeared. Some versions of the story claimed he was a spirit. Others said he was simply a kind man. Either way, the lesson remained the same. Even pirates sometimes depended on kindness. When Arun finished, the cave became silent again. I liked the story immediately, not because it was dramatic, but because it felt Thai. The hero was not a warrior, not a king, not a conqueror. The hero was someone who helped others, someone who shared, someone who expected nothing in return. Do people believe the story? I asked. Arun shrugged. Some do. And you? He smiled. I believe kindness happens. That answer seemed enough. We spent nearly an hour exploring the cave. Every corner revealed new details. Tiny pools reflected sunlight. Ancient shells rested in stone. Water carved patterns that no human artist could reproduce. Nature had worked patiently here for thousands of years. The pirates, if they had come, were merely temporary visitors. The cave would outlive them all. Eventually, we returned to the boat. As we drifted toward the exit, I looked back one final time. The shadows swallowed the deeper parts of the cave. Its secrets remained protected, not hidden aggressively, simply preserved. Waiting. Outside, the sunlight felt bright, warm, alive. The sea stretched endlessly around us. Arun pointed toward another island visible in the distance. People once watched shipping routes from there. Pirates? Sometimes. Fishermen? Also. Traders? He nodded. Everyone watched the sea. That statement fascinated me. In my mind, I had separated people into categories. Pirates, merchants, fishermen, travelers, but real life was rarely so simple. The same person might be several things across a lifetime. A fisherman during one season, a trader during another, a guide, a sailor, a smuggler. History was complicated because people were complicated. By midday, we landed on a small beach. The sand was pale and soft. Casuarina trees lined the shore. Their needle-like leaves whispered in the breeze. Unlike the crowded beaches shown in advertisements, this one felt untouched, peaceful, almost forgotten. Near the beach stood a small wooden house. An elderly woman sat outside, weaving baskets. Her hands moved slowly but confidently. Arun greeted her warmly. Her name was Auntie Da. She invited us to sit beneath the shade. As always, hospitality appeared almost immediately. Tea, fruit, smiles. No hesitation. When she learned I was interested in pirate stories, she laughed so hard she nearly dropped her basket. You foreigners love pirates. I smiled. We do. She shook her head. My grandfather told stories too. About pirates, about people surviving. She continued weaving. The pirates were only part of the story. I listened carefully. Auntie Da explained that life on islands was never easy. Fresh water was precious. Food depended on weather. Storms could isolate communities for days. The sea connected people, but it also challenged them. Stories about pirates survived because they were exciting. But the larger story was about ordinary people living with the ocean. Families, fishermen, boat builders, mothers, children, communities. The people who stayed long after pirates disappeared. As she spoke, I realized something. Many foreign visitors focus on unusual stories. Pirates, ghosts, mysteries, legends. But local people often remember something deeper. Daily life, relationships, shared experience. The extraordinary becomes meaningful only because ordinary life exists around it. Auntie Da handed me a piece of mango, sweet, juicy, perfectly ripe. Then she pointed toward the sea. My grandfather said every island has ears. I smiled. What does that mean? She looked amused. It means the sea remembers everything. The phrase lingered in my mind. The sea remembers everything. Perhaps not literally, but emotionally, the sea carried memories from generation to generation. Through stories, through traditions, through names, through maps. The water itself became a living archive. The afternoon passed gently. No rush, no schedule, only conversation. Wind through trees, waves touching shore. The distant cry of seabirds. This was another thing Thailand kept teaching me. Not every journey needs urgency. Sometimes understanding grows slowly, like tides, like roots, like stories. As the sun began sinking lower, Arun announced it was time to leave. We thanked Auntie Da. She pressed a small woven bracelet into my hand. A memory, she said. I promised to keep it. The return journey felt peaceful. The sea glowed gold beneath the late afternoon sun. The islands became silhouettes against the horizon. Somewhere behind us remained the cave. Ancient, patient, listening. Perhaps it had witnessed pirates. Perhaps traders. Perhaps fishermen seeking shelter. Perhaps all of them. The exact truth mattered less than I once thought. What mattered was understanding the relationship between people and place. The way landscapes shape stories, and stories shape memory. As darkness slowly approached, I opened my notebook. The pages were filling quickly. One sentence stood alone in the center of a page. The sea remembers everything. I looked at the islands disappearing into twilight. Tomorrow, Arun promised, we would visit a place even older, a remote island where sailors once watched the horizon for approaching ships. A place where the line between history and legend became almost impossible to see. And as the last sunlight faded across the Andaman Sea, I found myself looking forward not to finding treasure, but to finding another story. Chapter 4. The Island That Watched the Horizon. On the fourth morning of my journey, I woke before dawn. The room was still dark. Outside, the world remained quiet. For a few moments, I simply listened. A distant rooster, the soft hum of a ceiling fan, the occasional sound of a motorcycle far away, and somewhere beyond the sleeping town, the sea. Always the sea. It seemed to whisper, even when it could not be seen. Captain Arun had told me the night before that today's destination would be different. No hidden cave, he said. No secret cove. Then what? A place to watch. I had not understood what he meant. But as we left the harbor beneath a sky filled with fading stars, his words stayed with me. A place to watch. The sea was calm again. Only gentle ripples followed behind the boat. The sky slowly brightened. Dark blue became purple. Purple became pink. Pink became gold. One of the greatest gifts of traveling by boat is watching sunrise arrive from every direction at once. There are no buildings blocking the light, no mountains hiding the horizon, only openness, only sky, only sea. As the first sunlight touched the water, I noticed something unusual. Arun was steering toward an island that looked far less dramatic than the others we had visited. No towering cliffs, no giant caves, no hidden entrances. Just a long island covered with dense green vegetation. From a distance, it seemed ordinary, perhaps even forgettable. Yet, Arun appeared strangely excited. Many people pass this island without stopping, he said. Why? He smiled. Because they only look at it. An hour later, we arrived. The beach was narrow, the sand mixed with small stones and broken shells. Tall trees stood behind the shoreline. Their branches moved gently in the morning breeze. The island felt peaceful, almost sleepy. No tourists, no shops, no signs, no noise, only nature. We followed a narrow trail leading upward through the trees. The climb was not difficult. Birds sang overhead. Sunlight filtered through leaves. The air smelled of earth and salt. After 20 minutes, we reached the highest point on the island. And suddenly, I understood. The view was extraordinary, not because it was beautiful, although it certainly was, but because it was strategic. From that hilltop, enormous stretches of the sea became visible. Channels between islands, open water, distant coastlines, approaching boats, everything. The island was a natural observation point, a place where people could see long before they could be seen. Arun pointed toward the horizon. Imagine no radar, then another direction, no satellites, then another, no radio. I nodded. Slowly, the purpose of the island revealed itself. For centuries, information depended on eyesight. Whoever saw first possessed an advantage. Merchants wanted information. Fishermen wanted information. Village leaders wanted information. And yes, pirates wanted information too. The sea looked peaceful now. But hundreds of years ago, it had been a moving highway. Countless vessels traveled these waters. Chinese junks, Malay trading ships, Arab merchants, European explorers, fishing boats, local transport vessels. Every ship carried stories, goods, news, rumors, wealth, possibility. And from this hill, people could watch them all. We sat beneath a large tree overlooking the sea. The breeze felt cool, despite the growing warmth of the day. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The silence felt appropriate. Watching required patience. The island itself seemed to teach it. Eventually, I asked a question. Did pirates really use this place? Arun shrugged. Probably. Probably? He laughed. You want certainty. Maybe. He pointed toward the sea. The sea rarely gives certainty. I smiled. Over the previous days, I had noticed something. Thai people often seemed comfortable with uncertainty. Not ignorance. Not confusion. Simply acceptance that not everything can be known completely. Many Western travelers, including myself, often search for exact answers, exact dates, exact events, exact proof. But life is often more complicated. History, especially. The island reminded me of that. Some truths survive clearly. Others survive only as shadows. Near midday, we discovered the remains of old stone foundations hidden among the trees. Nothing grand, nothing dramatic, just weathered stones partially covered by roots and moss. Arun crouched beside them. Some people think this may have been a lookout point. How old? No one knows exactly. The answer no longer frustrated me. In fact, it felt strangely comforting. Mystery had become part of the journey. We sat nearby eating lunch. Sticky rice, dried fish, fresh fruit. Simple food once again. Simple food always seemed to taste better outdoors. Perhaps because the sea sharpened the appetite, or perhaps because stories improve meals. As we ate, Arun shared another local legend. This one involved a young lookout stationed on the island generations ago. According to the story, he spent his days watching the horizon for approaching vessels. One evening, he spotted a ship unlike any he had ever seen. Its sails appeared strange, its shape unfamiliar. Unsure whether it was friend or enemy, he lit a signal fire. The warning spread from island to island. By the next morning, coastal villages had prepared. When the ship finally arrived, it turned out to be harmless traders. But the lookout's caution became famous. His mistake was forgiven because his responsibility had been taken seriously. That sounds like a lesson, I said. Arun nodded. It is. What lesson? He looked toward the horizon. Pay attention. Simple, yet powerful. Pay attention. Thailand had already taught me many unexpected lessons. Kindness matters. Stories teach people how to look. The sea remembers everything. Pay attention. None of these lessons appeared in travel brochures, yet they felt more valuable than any sightseeing recommendation. In the afternoon, we continued exploring. The island revealed small surprises everywhere. Ancient trees twisted into unusual shapes, bird nests hidden among branches, tiny lizards warming themselves on rocks. Every detail rewarded patience. The island did not impress visitors quickly. It revealed itself slowly, like a conversation with an old friend. At one point, we reached a clearing overlooking a narrow channel between islands. Boats still passed through occasionally, fishing boats mostly. Watching them, I imagined centuries of travelers crossing the same water. Different vessels, different languages, different purposes, but the same route, the same sea, the same horizon. The realization produced a strange feeling. Travel often makes history feel distant. Museums place it behind glass. Books place it inside pages. But here, history felt close, almost visible. The channel remained. The islands remained. The sea remained. Only the people had changed. Later that afternoon, we met a fisherman named Lek. His small wooden boat rested on the shore. His face carried the relaxed confidence of someone who had spent a lifetime outdoors. When Arun mentioned my search for pirate stories, Lek laughed immediately. You still looking for pirates? Apparently. He shook his head. Then you are too late. We all laughed. Then he added something interesting. My grandfather said pirates survived because they knew the sea better than everyone else. I nodded. That makes sense. But eventually fishermen knew it better. The statement surprised me. Lek smiled. Pirates come and go. He gestured toward the water. People who live with the sea stay. For some reason, that sentence stayed with me all afternoon. People who live with the sea stay. The pirate stories were fascinating. The legends were entertaining. But the true heart of the islands belonged to the communities that endured generation after generation. The people who built boats, caught fish, raised families, shared food, passed down knowledge. They were the real guardians of these waters. As evening approached, the light softened. Golden sunlight stretched across the sea. Long shadows appeared beneath the trees. Birds returned to their nests. The island seemed to exhale, a peaceful ending to a peaceful day. Before leaving, I climbed once more to the hilltop viewpoint. The horizon glowed orange. The sea reflected the sky like polished metal. For several minutes, I simply watched. No photographs, no notes, no questions, only observation. Perhaps that was the lesson the island wanted to teach. Not every moment needs to be captured. Some moments only need to be experienced. Eventually, Arun called from below. It was time to return. Reluctantly, I followed him back to the beach. The boat waited quietly at the shore. The sea was calm. The evening air felt warm, comfortable, familiar. As we traveled back toward Phuket, darkness slowly covered the water. The islands became silhouettes. Then shadows. Then memories. I sat quietly near the front of the boat. The engine hummed steadily. The stars appeared one by one, and I thought about how much my understanding had changed. Before arriving in Thailand, I believed islands were destinations. Now I understood there were stories. Living stories. Layered stories. Stories shaped by weather, geography, memory, and people. When we reached the harbor, the town lights reflected across the water. Everything felt peaceful. Yet Arun surprised me before we parted. Tomorrow is the last island. The last one? He nodded. The most important one. Why? He smiled mysteriously. Because it changes the ending. That night, I sat by the guesthouse window long after everyone else had gone to sleep. The sea was invisible in the darkness, but I knew it was there, breathing, remembering, waiting. Tomorrow would be the final journey, the final island, and somehow I sensed it would reveal something I had been missing from the very beginning. Not about pirates, not about treasure, but about Thailand itself. Chapter 5, The Island That Changed the Story. Final chapter. The final morning arrived with a soft silver mist hanging above the sea. When I reached the harbor, the world seemed half awake. Fishing boats floated quietly. The water barely moved. Even the birds sounded gentler than usual. Captain Arun stood beside his boat holding 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to me without saying a word. For several minutes, we simply watched the sunrise. The horizon slowly brightened. Gold spread across the water. The mist began to disappear. And another day in the Andaman Sea quietly began. This island is different, Arun finally said. You said that yesterday. I know, he smiled, but today I mean it. We left the harbor just after sunrise. The journey took longer than any of the previous trips. Hour after hour, islands appeared and vanished along the horizon. The sea changed colors constantly. Blue, green, silver, turquoise, then blue again. Cloud shadows drifted across the water like giant moving islands. Everything felt calm, unhurried, almost dreamlike. I sat near the front of the boat and watched the waves. During the past few days, I had filled nearly an entire notebook, pages of observations, conversations, legends, questions, and yet something still felt unfinished. I could sense it, a missing piece. A final understanding waiting somewhere beyond the horizon. Around midday, the island finally appeared. At first, it seemed ordinary, a green shape rising from the sea. But as we approached, I noticed something different. There were signs of people, not resorts, not hotels. A small village, wooden houses, fishing boats, a pier stretching into the water, children running along the shore, smoke rising from outdoor kitchens, life. The moment we arrived, I felt something unexpected. The island did not feel historical. It felt alive. And somehow, that made it more important than all the others. We walked through the village slowly. People smiled as we passed. An elderly man repaired fishing nets beneath a tree. Women prepared food near their homes. Children chased each other along narrow paths. Dogs slept in the shade. The atmosphere felt peaceful, comfortable, natural. Nothing here appeared connected to pirates. At least not at first, which made me curious. Why had Arun brought me here? As if reading my thoughts, he smiled. You are confused. A little. Good. He continued walking. Keep looking. Eventually, we reached a small wooden pavilion overlooking the sea. An elderly woman sat there weaving baskets. Her hair was completely white. Her hands moved slowly but confidently. Arun greeted her respectfully. Then he introduced her. This is Grandma Nuon. She smiled warmly. Ah, the English writer. I laughed. Apparently, news traveled quickly on islands. We sat together overlooking the sea. The breeze carried the scent of salt and cooking rice. Fishing boats rocked gently near the shore. Everything felt wonderfully ordinary. And that, somehow, became important. After some conversation, Grandma Nuon asked a question. Why are you interested in pirates? I thought carefully. Then I answered honestly. Because I never knew Thailand had pirate stories. She nodded. A good answer. Then she looked toward the sea. But that is not really what you have been looking for. I blinked. What do you mean? She smiled. You think you came here to learn about pirates. She pointed toward the village. But you came here to learn about people. For several seconds, I said nothing. Because deep down, I knew she was right. The hidden cove, the cave, the lookout island. Every place had begun with pirates. But every meaningful memory involved people. Somchai, Arun, Uncle Praser, Mali, Auntie Da, Lek, and now Grandma Nuan. The stories were never really about pirates. The stories were about how people lived with the sea, Perhaps she saw realization appearing on my face. Because she smiled again. History is like fishing. I laughed. How? You throw your net looking for one thing. She spread her hands. Then you bring up something else. The sea sparkled beneath the afternoon sunlight. The village remained peaceful around us. And suddenly the entire journey made sense. Before arriving in Thailand, I had carried a misunderstanding. I believed Thailand's islands were simply beautiful destinations, places people visited, photographed, then left behind. But that was only the surface. The truth was much deeper. These islands were communities. They were memories. They were survival. They were generations of knowledge passed from grandparents to grandchildren. They were stories shaped by tides, storms, winds, and time. Pirates happened here. But pirates were only one chapter, not the whole book. Grandma Nuong continued weaving. The sea changes everything. She paused. But it also connects everything. I thought about all the islands we had visited. The hidden cove, the ancient cave, the lookout hill. Each place seemed separate on a map. Yet they were connected by the same water, the same history, the same stories, the same people. And suddenly, I remember something Uncle Prosser had told me days earlier. Islands are not lonely. They're connected by water. At the time, I thought he was describing geography. Now I realized he was describing life. That afternoon, the villagers invited us to share a meal. Simple dishes appeared one after another. Fresh fish, rice, vegetables, soup, fruit. Everything placed in the center for everyone to share. No ceremony. No formality, only generosity. As we ate, conversations flowed naturally. Some people spoke English, others spoke only Thai, but somehow communication still happened. Smiles, gestures, laughter, kindness, the universal language of hospitality. One young fisherman asked me what surprised me most about Thailand. I thought carefully before answering. Then I said, I thought I was coming to learn about places. The group listened, but I keep learning about people. Several villagers nodded. Grandma Nuan smiled, as if that was the correct answer. The afternoon drifted slowly toward evening. Children played near the shore. Fishing boats returned one by one. Birds crossed the sky. The sea became calmer, softer, almost sleepy. As sunset approached, I walked alone to the end of the pier. The wooden boards creaked gently beneath my feet. The horizon glowed orange and gold. Far away, islands appeared as dark silhouettes. Somewhere among them lay the hidden cove, the cave, the lookout hill, places connected now not only by geography but by memory. I leaned against the railing and listened to the water. For a moment, I imagined all the people who had crossed these seas through the centuries. Merchants, fishermen, travelers, families, pirates, dreamers, survivors, each believing their own story was important, each becoming part of a larger story without realizing it. The sea had witnessed them all, and somehow it continued moving calmly forward, wave after wave, year after year, generation after generation. As darkness slowly approached, Arun joined me at the pier. Neither of us spoke immediately. The sunset was too beautiful. Some moments deserve silence. Finally, he asked, "So, what? Did you find your pirates?" I laughed softly. "I think so." And I looked toward the sea. They were not the most interesting part. Arun smiled, as if he had expected that answer from the beginning. The journey back to Phuket took place beneath a sky filled with stars. The sea reflected moonlight. The islands became shadows, then disappeared completely. The boat moved steadily through the darkness, and I sat quietly, thinking. Before coming to Thailand, I believed pirate stories belonged somewhere else, far away, in other oceans, in other countries, but Thailand has surprised me again. Not because pirates once hid among these islands, but because every place contained layers, beauty above, history below, and people connecting everything together. That was the real discovery. Not treasure, not legends, not mysteries. People. Later that night, back in my guest house, I opened my notebook one final time. The pages were nearly full. I reviewed everything I had written during the journey. Conversations, descriptions, questions, memories. Then I turned to the final page. For several minutes, I stared at the blank paper, thinking, remembering, listening to the distant sound of waves outside. Eventually, I wrote one sentence, the simplest sentence in the entire notebook. Yet, perhaps the most important, I came looking for pirates and found Thailand. I closed the notebook. Outside, the Andaman Sea shimmered beneath the moonlight. The islands rested quietly beyond the horizon, their secrets protected by distance and time, their stories carried forward by those who remembered. And somewhere among those islands, hidden coves still waited. Ancient caves still echoed with dripping water. Lookout hills still watched the horizon, not as relics of the past, but as reminders that every beautiful place contains deeper stories. And every journey becomes richer when we take the time to listen. The waves continued their endless rhythm, slow, gentle, timeless, the same sound heard by fishermen, by traders, by travelers, and perhaps even by pirates long ago. A sound that connected centuries. A sound that connected islands. A sound that connected people. And as the tropical night settled peacefully over southern Thailand, I watched the moonlight dance upon the sea one last time. Then I closed my eyes and let the sound of the waves carry the story softly into the darkness. The end. Thailand still holds countless stories waiting to be discovered. If you would like to continue this journey together, I hope to see you again in the next story from Thailand Through Eyes. And if there is somewhere in Thailand you wish to visit through story, leave your suggestion below. Perhaps our next journey will begin there.